He has tremendous success with our company ACN. He's an IT specialist. Like I cannot think of anybody better than this gentleman to explain to us what ID Seal is, our new brand new service, the advantages of this service compared to the competition, and how to approach customers, what language to use to get tons of IDCL customers. So he is in the Phoenix area in Arizona. That's where he's based. That's where he lives. So I would like to introduce and I'd like to welcome on a call Regional Director, Mr. Tony Silva.
Thank you so much, Lucy. I am so excited to be here. I've absolutely loved everything that you and Larry and even Adrian have talked about this evening. I am so excited to be able to be out here to talk about IDSeal Titan and IDSeal ProTech, because I understand there's a lot of Canadians on here as well as people in the United States. But before I get started, my name is Tony Silva. I'm Regional Director. Been in ACN for 4 years, and I cannot believe how quickly the time has just flown by. It's really cool because my daughter was born a few weeks before I actually joined ACN. So every time she has a birthday, I might as well celebrate the birthday of me being in ACN. This is a wonderful opportunity for everybody to be able to participate in something that's just going to be absolutely explosive in these next few years. My background is robotic engineering. I went to ASU. I think I was over there for about 6 years. Ended up dropping out because you know what? My dad's an engineer. My father-in-law's an engineer. Didn't want to do the 9 to 5 thing, sit behind a desk. I was looking for something else to do, wanted the entrepreneurial side. Eventually ACN came across my lap and everything's just been absolutely fun and exciting. My wife does it alongside with me and I'm so happy to be here. So the meat and potatoes of tonight is IDSealTitan or IDSeal ProTech, which is soon to be announced here in the United States. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be focusing on IDSealTitan because they're going to be extremely similar, except for one thing. IDSealTitan has cloud storage. IDSeal here in the United States ProTech will have identity theft protection. So we'll have to do a little trade-off. But my number one thing when it comes to educating IBOs on the product, because IDSealTitan can seem really overwhelming to a lot of people who aren't used to technology, and I completely get that. Trust me, I really do, because when I do IT for schools, or when I did IT for schools, or when I would just help friends and family out, I start talking and I don't realize that I'm talking in jargon, techno jargon, and so I've really developed an ability to be able to explain technology or anything like this to a little bit more normal level, where you don't need an actual degree to understand what's going on. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, because here is the number one source. Everyone always asks me, what do you do, or how do you learn more about IDSeal? It is literally acncompass.com for the United States, or acncompass.ca for the Canadians. Literally, guys, it is the best source for your knowledge growth for IDSeal, Titan, or ProTech. So where do you go? You go over to products, residential, and digital privacy and protection. This is a wonderful library for everyone to just sit back, watch some amazing videos, and they're not that long. Trust me, they're not that long. We're talking a few minutes per category just to give you a great idea of what exactly IDSeal, Titan or ProTech, I'm just going to say IDSeal, what IDSeal is capable of. And really, when you get to sit down and compare apples to oranges, with our competitors, it will blow you away to see not only what we're able to offer, all of these in just a single app, but what we're able to offer at the price that we're offering it. It is absolutely mind blowing. So, but the reason why I'm also really excited about IDSeal is because, well, one, first, it's technology. I love that. But second, it's a powerhouse of a service that will help so many people go regional director and regional vice president. Now, we kind of explained the compensation plan. No, not kind of. We really did explain the compensation plan, and I hope you guys took notes, because it is extremely crucial to understand the importance of IDSeal. Like, for example, in the United States, when it's not under promotion, with the promotion of 2, 4, and 8, it's 2, 3, 4, which is still great. So 4 for the annual, 8 right now. IDSeal, identity theft protection, is 8 points per service. And then in Canada, IDSealTitan is 1, 3, and 5. 5 being the annual plan. Now, let me break that down a little bit for you because this is what I mean. IDSeal is going to make the most regional directors and regional vice presidents, I believe, out of all of the other services. So in Canada, you just need 120 customers, right? So 5 points, 3 legs for regional director, 40 customers per leg, 5 levels, 8 customers per level. Guys, it is extremely simple. And then for the United States, it ends up with the math. It ends up being 10
recording in progress.
10 customers per level. I'm going to go ahead and click continue there. So that right there is just proof, just based off of the compensation plan alone, that the customer points that you can acquire with IDSeal is just absolutely amazing. Because look, if you go after places like, families who have a mom and a dad, or whatever, businesses with business partners, small businesses, real estate agents, insurance brokers, I'll go over that in just a little bit. There's usually 2, so we're talking about 2 services per household, which is just, again, that just adds up over and over and over again. Plus with your IBOs and their warm market to anybody who's not interested in the business right now, after they get a taste of IDSeal, I'm sure they're going to eventually come on over and join ACN. So let me show you something it's an amazing resource on the entire thing of IDSeal, and that's the IDSeal sales guide. Now I'll get to the language and all the other stuff in just a little bit, but I wanted to show you because this is where I gain my language from. So when you approach someone, whether it's an individual or a small business owner, like I said, insurance agents, travel agents, real estate agents, they are all fantastic potential customers for IDSeal because you use this form of urgency. The news is doing this for us already. We hear about it all the time. Ransomware, cyber attacks, paying out to hackers, all of these things. We hear about it every single day, it seems like, and it's only going to get worse. I truly believe it's just going to keep happening more and more and more because that's just in the world that we're in. We're in the techno world. So if you just simply bring up, hey, did you hear about the most recent ransomware attack? You don't even have to specify, because I am quite certain if you just say it that way, hey, have you heard of the most recent ransomware attack? Someone would be like, oh yeah, because they already know an example, thank you to the mainstream media. So they're kind of doing half the work for us on educating customers why it's important to protect yourself digitally. So if you take a look at right here, data theft is expected to cost the world over $10.5 trillion by 2025. Well, I can tell you this right now, based on that statistic, it's already outdated. Just from this year alone, which is just crazy, and it's scary for a lot of people. If you use these terms, like hacking, malware, browser tracker, these are things that a lot of people are becoming more and more familiar with. So as you learn these catchphrases, these words like VPNs and antivirus protection, a digital locker, if you start learning those words and putting them into your daily language, so when you have a conversation with someone, they'll immediately think or believe you know exactly what you're talking about, which, and in this case, I hope you do, at least watch some videos. But these are things that people are slowly becoming familiar with. And if you use those terms, they can connect it and be like, oh, I understand that. And then therefore I can understand the importance of having IDSeal because of what's currently happening right now in this world. And look, I'm not trying to say go and scare everybody that you come across. But at the same time, that's kind of like what your auto insurance agent does to you, right? You get auto insurance because they're like, well, hey, one day you're going to get into a car accident. Right? And that's the only reason why we have it, unless you're here in the United States, it's kind of mandated. But I believe one day cybersecurity is going to be mandated as well, just like auto insurance, health insurance, all that other stuff. And so it's like you kind of have to open their eyes to how vulnerable they really are. And IDSeal is a perfect example of a service that everyone needs. I promise you, everyone needs it. Everyone just won't notice or realize that they need it. So as you keep going down, you can see all these articles and clips, and all this other stuff. But here's what I want to bring up. You know what? I'm going to come over here. So features by platform. It breaks down everything for you in a very, very simplified way. If you can sit back. So where is this located? So if you go into marketing, sales, and tools, features by platform, it's right here. Really, guys, it's super, super simple. Right there, you're able to figure out first of all, what platform, IDSeal works on the best right now. And, that's Windows and Android. And then, Apple products like Mac and iOS, they have services. Trust me, they have really great things that IDSeal offers. Apple is really stingy on what can and cannot be on their platform. So as of right now, my approach is always for people who have Windows and Androids, and then anybody else who has an Apple product. Obviously, you tell them about it, because there are things on here like ad blockers and digital fingerprint scrambler for Mac OS. And then sensitive document detection for iOS and Android, and also Windows. So if you see these check marks, you can see which area you really want to focus on. So this is a great example, or a great document for you guys to review if you don't know what a VPN is. I understand what a VPN is. It hides your digital identity as you're browsing websites. There are free VPNs out there that you can get right now in whatever app store that you have, Google Play or Apple App Store. You can get free VPNs. But did you know those VPNs actually have a massive potential of stealing your data and do the exact opposite of what they're intended to do? So if you come across a customer who was like, hey, I already have a VPN, I got a free one off of Android, I can show you articles and articles and articles of free VPNs. They're called like freeware, some other stuff like that, where they seem free, but trust me, guys, nothing's really free in the real world. These companies actually collect your data and sell them to third parties so that they can make a profit off of you. So it's not necessarily free, and you're willing to allow yourself to be tracked and traced by these businesses. So when I always get, well, what's the difference between your VPN and, say this person's free VPN, or even a cheap VPN that you can get for like $2 a month? The biggest difference that IDSeal has compared to everybody else is we do not collect your data. We do not trace you. We do not track you. We do not sell your information to third parties. That's just something that we just don't do, because we depend solely on the customer buying the product. Or the service. And it's as simple as that. These other companies depend on selling your information. So I'm sitting here thinking, well, then if I'm getting a VPN to protect myself, how on earth can I trust these companies who are going to simply just sell my information like as if I didn't have it in the first place? They're the ones that are just making the money. So I'm sitting here thinking, yeah, I'm going to go with IDSeal. If my main focus is to protect myself digitally, then I'm going to go with a company that's not tracking, tracing, and doing all other nasty, sketchy stuff that I just think is creepy. And then, antivirus. Everybody's familiar with that. We've got Kaspersky, we've got McAfee, we've got Norton. They've been around for decades. So if you approach anybody with that, they'll be extremely familiar with antivirus. There's a couple other things. Ad blocker, it is fantastic. I've seen it work in person. It is amazing of how quick and responsive this is, especially when detecting an unsecure website. It's immediate response when you're about to go onto a website that's not secure and might be dangerous. IDSeal will immediately tell you that and notify you. So honestly, guys, when I approach anybody in regards to IDSeal ProTech, when it eventually comes out here in the United States or anywhere else, I just simply tell them this is literally the best service you could possibly get without having to completely empty out your wallet, like as if you would combining all of the other features from our competitors. So another approach that I have is when I'm talking to people like real estate agents, travel agents, insurance agents, whether it's health or auto or whatever it is, I tell them, do you have a location on your servers that can protect my information? Because sometimes you get people who are just putting all of your sensitive documents on their desktop in a folder labeled with your name. Super easy for hackers to be able to get into and be like, oh, hey, look, this is Tony Silva's folder with his entire sensitive forms of documents, with my social security number, driver's license number, the whole thing. It's like trick-or-treating for hackers. So you ask them that, do you have a secure location? I bet they don't. especially if I work with a travel agent. She works from home, and she came up to me and she's like, I just realized, because I do presentations with this, like a local chamber, BNI, and I just focus on IDSeal. She's like, I didn't realize that I was keeping all these documents in one location, making it an extremely vulnerable folder filled with all of her customers. So yeah, absolutely, she and her husband are going to be getting IDSeal ProTech right away. But those are the types of people that you approach that I would recommend. Not only individuals, your neighbors, because again, I believe everybody should be getting ID Seal. I don't care where you live. It doesn't matter what state you're in. That's the greatest thing about ID Seal is that you can be anywhere in the United States or anywhere in Canada or eventually in Europe. And I can see it going even further, but as of right now, there is no special market for ID Seal. It's literally everywhere. So it's here in Arizona where I'm located, this is going to be a massive opportunity for me to be able to offer this service to so many people because again, everybody needs this. Now, if you go with real estate agents or travel agents, insurance agents, there's plenty of those all around. But I would start with the ones that you use first. Favor, why, help, try. Honestly, if you're paying them, they better get a service with you. And if you want to make sure your information is protected, you're going to want them to have ID Seal. And so, yeah, so that's literally my only approach. And then everybody else, I work with a window screen guy or a pool builder or financial advisor. It doesn't matter who it is, small businesses, which is great. You can actually talk to the owner and get them, the owner, on ID Seal. It is extremely simple because again, people are hearing these terms, ransomware, malware, hackers. They're hearing it every single day, and it just makes it great promotion for ID Seal. And now, so how is it different from the competitors? Let's see here. How do I get this? There we go. So you can see right here, combined competitors compared to IDSealTitan. I mean, honestly, it is an insane comparison because look, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 6-ish things depending on what competitors you're talking about, and then IDSealTitan. I mean, it's just literally no comparison. And then at the price of $239.90 per year in Canada, and then like $289.90 here in the United States. I mean, we're talking less than $1 a day for someone to make sure that their entire digital life is protected. And this is why you also want to go and approach small business owners like real estate, insurance, travel agents, because their entire business depends on the digital world right now. And if you can help them protect that, it's their baby. They've been working on it for decades, sometimes decades. They've been working on this, and they want to make sure this doesn't get hacked and then ransomware to where they have to fork out who knows how many thousands of dollars in Bitcoin. I mean, we saw that over at the Colonial Pipeline. It was like $4 or $5 million in Bitcoin. I don't have that in Bitcoin. That's ridiculous. But it helps us add an additional protection to make sure that doesn't happen. Now it's obviously not guaranteed, but at least it helps. It's like putting on a seatbelt. The seatbelt helps save so many lives, and I guarantee you having something like this, proactively keeping you safe as best as it possibly can, you will be in a better position to stay protected than somebody who has nothing at all. And then, so how easy is it? Honestly, it's just a download, install on your computer or your device, and flip a switch. You just press a button, things get turned on. You're instantly protected. It's always looking. It's scanning. It's keeping you safe as best you can. There's extensions you can have, like right here. You can see right here. I don't have this activated on this browser, but you can see right here. It's just a little extension. That's all it is. And it makes it extremely simple for anyone to use because you're not looking at anything crazy or big time techie. It's literally just a switch right here. As you can see, blue, red, super easy colors for people to understand. So honestly, guys, it's extremely simple. And then when you compare, because again, small business owners have this stuff. Those are fantastic people to approach in regards to this. And it's extremely simple. So I believe we said that we were going to do a couple of questions. I'm going to stop sharing, and then I can go back to a couple of other things. Lucy, do we have any questions, should I ask right now? If you guys have any questions you want to ask me, go ahead and throw it in chat, and we'll be able to go through all of that. I can't believe there's 121 people on here. That's amazing. That is absolutely amazing. And so, yeah, so that's literally how I approach. It takes 7 minutes to talk to an entire group of small business owners. I want to keep referencing small business owners like realtors and all other stuff. And then when you're doing your favorite Why Help Try, you're just, simply approaching people as, I want to help you protect you and your family from whatever threats might come your way, because you don't have to be a business owner to lose a lot of stuff. These people can come and attack you as an individual. I know people might sometimes leave their W-2s on their computer, or they might leave scanned documents that they don't want out in the world, that can actually be really damaging to your personal life. So it's not just for business owners, it's literally for everyone, because everyone has something that hackers can use to steal, or to leverage against you, or to hold you ransom. So you really have to approach this with an extremely urgent approach, because everyone is going to eventually have something similar to this. You might as well get IDSeal, right? So you're really going to want to prime the system, because I have a strong feeling in the next year or the next 2 years, everyone's going to have something similar to this to some extent, and we're at the ground level right now for something absolutely massive, and it's going to create so many regional directors and regional vice presidents. It's going to be crazy. Your upline is going to be getting notices left and right, left and right, left and right. So, Lucy, do we have any questions that we have on in the chat right now, or is there any questions that we can take if we don't have any in the chat because they can't write?
There is a few, and you have one that you received directly also.
Okay, let me see here. Okay, so I have a question. Okay.
One is asking, what's the best marketing document to share with potential customers?
Okay, the best marketing document. I mean, honestly, so if you go back over here, you can even do a customer flyer. Like, and just talk about, what can IDSealTitan do? It keeps it extremely simple. Right here, keep your data safe and protected. Oh, I'm not sharing my screen. Keep your devices safe from, so let me go back to here and here. And then let me go back. Okay, my favorite one is IDSealTitan, so it's going to be whatever it is, going to be the United States ProTech Customer Flyer. So it's extremely simple because it gives you the simple breakdown. It gives you the technical information for the people who are super techies. It gives you the simple words for the people who just don't understand a lot of technology, but I'm sure people understand. Keep your data safe and protected. Keep your private information private. So this one is a fantastic one. Plus, it has all the key phrases that more and more people will eventually hear if they haven't heard it already. So I'm going to go back to that one here. IDSealTitan Customer Flyer underneath Marketing, Sales, and Tools is a fantastic one to show people. All right, let's see here. In the US, how many devices will be allowed for the new features such as VPN? That is a great question, because you kind of have to know that, right? I don't know why this keeps. It's right here. So it tells you IDSealTitan versus the competitors, antivirus software, 4 devices. VPN, 4 devices. Now, this is based off IDSealTitan, but I'm pretty sure ProTech is going to be the same way. Again, the 2 terabyte cloud backup storage is only for Canada. Okay, guys? So the United States people who see this is only for Canada. We get identity theft protection, which I think is a great service to have, because that's on top of that. Plus the identity theft restoration insurance of $1 million policy. I mean, even if here in the United States, you mentioned that right there is a big takeaway from a lot of people, to be able to know they at least have something that they could leverage themselves to help recover their stolen identity. So 4 devices for VPN, 4 devices for antivirus software, and then all other stuff. Kind of you install it on the devices. So let's see here. Will the new features use up a lot of memory on a desktop? No, actually, it's going to be extremely lightweight. So we see right here, we have, the extensions right here, we're talking, smaller than a normal picture. And then the actual software that you can install on your Windows desktop, it hardly takes up, we're talking megabytes, we're talking extremely small. So you do not have to worry about a massive installation. Same thing goes with your phone. It's not going to take up, so your pictures, all that other stuff is going to be completely fine in regards to size, what's left, what can you upload. It will be absolutely simple, super lightweight. Any computer that can install an application on Windows will have no problem doing that whatsoever. So these are really, really great questions. Let me see here. How hackers get into our computers? Okay, yeah, Deborah, that is a great question. So hackers are really good at puzzles. So I understand how they do it. With robotic engineering, you understand software, electrical, and mechanical engineering. So the software side, I got a really good taste of how things work. On the ones and zeros side of how computers work, hackers are really good at putting things together from what they've seen from data breaches. So one thing leads to another, so for example, I'll talk about how they can get into computers, but how do they get into your things like your bank account or your email? Is another company gets a data breach, right? So a couple days ago, there was a hacker or hacking group that released to the public on a public hacking forum 8 billion passwords with some majority associated with usernames. 8 billion accounts have been compromised from a single from multiple data breaches across multiple companies, businesses, and industries, combined into a single file with 8 billion rows of individuals with accounts and passwords, or not accounts, with usernames and passwords. That's one massive way that they can get into your things like your email address, and then pretend to be you, and then contact your mortgage or your bank and have them send over a password reset request, and then they reset your password over at your bank, and then boom, now all of a sudden they're in control and they transfer stuff over. So you really have to keep on top of all that stuff. But the second way, how do they get into your computer, is sometimes as you're browsing the internet, you'll get a pop-up that says, oh no, someone, Windows or Microsoft whatever, detects that there's a virus on your computer. A lot of people don't understand that that's not a real thing. It's just on the web browser, and it's a trap, is what it is. So a lot of people click that, and it takes them to a number. Call this number to help get this resolved. Okay, I don't understand computers, so I'm going to call this number that says it's Microsoft support. They call that number. Remember, everybody, this started from a simple window pop-up. This started from something extremely small. Now you're talking to somebody from in a different country, and they're pretending to be Microsoft. Now they tell you to install this software so that they can control your computer to help you get it resolved. So now they're on the phone in India, Nigeria, wherever, Ukraine. You're on the phone with them live right now. They have you install something, and now they have full control of your computer because of a single pop-up on your web browser. All because of that. Now they have full control of your computer, and so as they're talking to you, pretending to be Microsoft or whoever they're pretending to be, they're slowly stealing and looking for sensitive information, because sometimes people scan things like their driver's license, or they scan their birth certificate for whatever reason. And so that's one of probably the easiest ways they do it, from a single pop-up. So by having IDSeal Protect, that is prevented from happening, because Google, Edge, Safari, whatever, they have that kind of built in, but it's not perfect. IDSealTitan and Protect is just that extra fortification to protect that from happening. So that is a great question. Let's see here.
I had a question here, Tony. Yeah. I find it very interesting because I had the same question. Is it accurate that our VPN is much better than the competition because it doesn't slow your browsing down as much as Nord or ExpressVPN?
Right. No, that's a fantastic question, because you really want to know, because we do have great competitors in regards to VPN. Currently at the time right now, before I can install IDSeal, is ExpressVPN. I've used NordVPN. They are fantastic. And I would say we're quite comparable between the two, but when it comes to the extra step, in regards to speeds, everything's going to determine where you're going to pretend to be with the VPN, because that's what it does. I'm here in Phoenix, but I can make my computer look like I'm in Dallas, Texas, or even in Canada, or wherever our servers are located. So they have their speeds depending. So the further away, the longer it takes for a message to get to and come back. So you really have to kind of make sure you're using a server that's close to your location so you get the best speeds possible. But every VPN experiences that. Every VPN has those not concerns, but they have those complications that you have to kind of make sure you have to weigh your pros and cons. Would I rather look like I'm in Canada and kind of sacrifice a couple of megabytes per second on my internet? Sure, for whatever reason, yeah. So that's not that big of an issue. But the biggest takeaway between us and say ExpressVPN and NordVPN is that they both kind of have their disadvantages, like leaking certain specific things that your device has that still can identify you. I've tested them. I've tested NordVPN. I've tested ExpressVPN. Betty Ann, who I think is on here, can testify. We did it together for like a couple of hours, comparing and contrasting what IDSeal is great at and what the other companies are great at, and we found that we still come on top of everybody else. So, in my eyes, and based off of our tests that we've ran, IDSeal Protect will be the best VPN that money can buy without having to break the bank. So I hope that kind of answers your question there, Lucy.
Oh yeah, it's a great answer. We're just gonna take a few more questions because there's a lot of interest on the chat, which is fantastic. But
Yeah.
we don't want to take too much of your time. I have a lot of there's questions there on basically what is the main difference between ID Seal in the United States and ID Seal in Canada.
Yeah, no, that's a great question since there's a lot of Canadians and people here from the United States both on here. The biggest thing is literally just the 2 terabyte cloud storage is available in Canada. So that means you get to have this really cool software on your computer that you can set to a schedule. Like I want it at 2 a.m. to back up my documents and stuff like that to a secure location in the cloud in case my computer crashes or gets stolen or whatever it is. It can back up your data. Your data. You get to select and pick and choose. Super simple, super easy. At 2 a.m., it automatically does that for you. You can do that like twice a month. You can do it once a month. You can do it, once a week. I don't recommend doing it every day. I think that's a little overkill. But at least do it at least once a month, and you'll always have your documents secured in a completely different location. And 2 terabytes, my goodness, if you're doing more than 2 terabytes, I don't know what you're backing up because that is a ton of information to back up. So for the United States, we have identity theft protection. So there is a difference, and that is literally the only difference. Everything else, based on my knowledge of what I'm understanding of what Protect's going to have eventually when it gets released, is those are the two different things that are different. Canadians get the cloud storage. Here in the United States, I don't want to call us Americans. We're all Americans, North America. Here in the United States, we get identity theft protection. So I think that kind of answers the one question by Kush. Is I don't think, and I don't know. I don't have any idea about identity theft protection coming to Canada. I'm not privy to that information. But hey, always stay tuned because ACN ceases to they're always surprising me in a way that I never thought a company could do. They're always coming out and looking forward to the future. So just stay tuned. Focus on what you guys have in Canada because the 2 terabyte storage is fantastic. I know, terrifying, Wendy. I'm so sorry. It's terrifying, yeah, but it's true. It's really crazy of how that all this other stuff happens. Let's see here. How many other questions can we do? We're at 7 o'clock my time. So what is that? 7, 8, 9, 10 o'clock? Is that 10 o'clock your guys' time Eastern?
It's 11 o'clock here.
Yeah.
In Canada, but it's
Okay.
all good. I mean, it's fascinating. I'm learning so much. Um,
Deborah has a really good question. So I would like to answer this one if this is going to be our last one.
of course, go ahead. I mean,
Okay, so she asks, should we turn off our Microsoft virus protection when we have Titan? Yes, 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 because that will affect certain things, especially. So first of all, if you have a VPN already, like I have ExpressVPN, you know what? I'm going to bite the bullet. I already paid for it annually, a few months ago. It is what it is, but it's recommended to not have two VPNs on at the same time. It's also recommended to not have two virus protections at the same time because, funny enough, the virus protections can actually see the other virus protection as a virus because of what they have to access. And so, to prevent all forms of complications, just stick with IDSeal as your main virus and malware protection and ransomware protector as well. So yeah, turn that off. If you have McAfee, turn that off. Uninstall it. Good luck uninstalling that. If you have Norton, good luck on uninstalling that. But I would just recommend sticking with just IDSealTitan as your main service. Oh yeah, okay. How? Yeah, there's actually you can actually go to YouTube and you can figure that out. Type in YouTube how to turn off Microsoft virus protection, and there are great tutorials that can do a step by step. It takes literally like 60 seconds to do it. Hopefully that answered your question there, Deborah. But that's a really great one to have. So if I think
Do you agree, Tony, that
yeah.
with the tech support with IDCL, like because some people have very like technical questions that are for them, like they're specific questions. Like if they go and they call like the tech IDCL tech support, they're very helpful and they will help them out.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just a simple number. This was a complete surprise to me. I didn't realize that this was happening, but you just call a number and say, "Hey, I'm having some problems. I can't get this installed correctly. Like I can't get an extension on Firefox installed correctly." IDSeal will help you with that. They'll actually walk you through. They can even kind of like virtually show you, and then even help you directly on your computer over the phone call, and they'll walk you through it. It's what they do. Now, I don't know if we're getting that in the United States. I don't know all the information for IDSeal ProTech here in the United States, but for Canada, that is a massive thing to have. And just simply call a phone number. Don't tell people to call the upline. Have them call the number just to get used to it, so their customers understand in the future who to call if they're having problems. Because trust me, I do not want hundreds of people calling me directly because I helped them get IDSeal. I do not want that. I do not want. I was in IT. I don't like that. It is a headache. So at least they have that set up, and I think that's absolutely amazing.
Wow. Like, I mean, I'm amazed. Like, thank you very much, Tony, for your time. I know there's a lot more questions, but maybe like people use the resources that they have. Like, if they have questions, they can call tech support. And you gave a lot of material that we have on the back office that people we have to educate ourselves, right? And learn about the product, and we'll be more comfortable, and then we'll be able to offer the service.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I really do appreciate you letting me take the time. I hope I was as not as jargony or using big words. I hope I wasn't doing that and it was able to do it as simple as possible. But I really do appreciate you, Lucy, and Larry allowing me to have this opportunity to be able to be on this Friday night customer acquisition training. I'm so excited for this. I always get goosebumps whenever I'm getting goosebumps right now whenever I talk about IDSeal because I understand the importance of it. So team, everybody that is on here, all 110 of us, really go. I hope you can sleep tonight, but really, really, really look a little bit more into IDSeal in the back office. And again,